When my husband Jack and I moved into our new house, we were ecstatic. It was a charming old Victorian on a quiet street, perfect for starting our new life together. The previous owner had passed away and the house had been empty for years. Despite its age, it had a welcoming feel and we immediately felt at home. Our first few nights were uneventful. We spent our time unpacking, arranging furniture, and making the place our own. But on the fourth night, just as we were drifting off to sleep, we heard it. A child's laughter, faint and distant, echoing through the halls. Jack and I both sat up in bed, eyes wide. "Did you hear that?" I whispered. He nodded, his face pale. It sounded like a little girl. We got up and searched the house, checking every room and closet, but there was no sign of anyone. We tried to convince ourselves that it was just our imagination, or perhaps a sound from outside. But the laughter continued night after night, always at the same time, always the same hauntingly sweet giggle. One evening, as we were having dinner, I decided to ask our neighbor, Mrs. Henderson, about the house's history. She was an elderly woman who had lived next door for decades. "Oh, that house," she said, her voice tinged with sadness. "A tragic story, really. The previous owner's daughter, Emily, disappeared one night, just vanished without a trace. She was only 6 years old. The family was devastated. They searched everywhere, but she was never found." A chill ran down my spine. "When did this happen?" "About 30 years ago," Mrs. Henderson replied. "Her parents moved away soon after, unable to bear the memories." Jack and I exchanged worried glances. Could it be Emily's laughter we were hearing? That night, we decided to do some research. We found old newspaper articles detailing the mysterious disappearance of little Emily. The more we read, the more convinced we became that her spirit was still in the house. Determined to get to the bottom of this, we set up a voice recorder in the hallway where we heard the laughter most often. We also left out some toys, hoping to make contact. The next morning, we listened to the recording. At first, there was nothing, just the usual creaks and groans of an old house. But then, faintly, we heard it. The laughter, followed by a soft voice saying, "Where are you?" My heart ached for the lost child. We decided to bring in a local paranormal investigator, hoping to help Emily find peace. The investigator, a kind woman named Sarah, spent hours in the house, conducting her sessions and asking questions. After a while, she turned to us. "There's definitely a presence here. Emily's spirit is trapped, searching for her family. She doesn't understand what happened to her." "Can we help her?" I asked, my voice trembling. Sarah nodded. "We need to let her know she's not alone, and that it's okay to move on. Sometimes spirits just need permission to leave." That night, we held a small ceremony. We placed Emily's favorite toys in the hallway and lit a candle. Sarah spoke softly, explaining to Emily that she was no longer alone, that her family loved her, and it was time for her to find peace. As Sarah spoke, the air in the room grew warmer, and we felt a gentle breeze pass through. The candle flickered, and for a brief moment, we saw a small, translucent figure standing by the toys, smiling. Then, as quickly as she appeared, she was gone, leaving us in awe and a sense of profound peace. The laughter stopped after that night. Our house felt lighter, more serene. We knew Emily had finally found her way, and her spirit was at rest. We kept her toys in a special place, a reminder of the little girl who once brought her laughter into our lives and whose presence would never be forgotten.